On my face and in my hands are dildo dots. These are really cutely designed pimple patches that help to heal your pimples. But have you thought about the leadership it takes to get this little patch from a lab to Malaysia to everywhere else in the world? Well, today I'm sitting down with the man who made it possible. So this is Ethan Wong. He is the COO and founder of dildo dots. He has spent 6 years working in marketing, and 5 of those years were actually starting his brand. What are dildo dots? Dildo dots are Malaysia's first fully colored pimple patches, and they went viral for specializing in cutely designed and functional pimple patches. And my first question, what is his leadership style?
In the earlier days, we had 25 of those people coming to report to us directly, right? So naturally, we care about their personal well-being, their emotional, mental well-being. As the company starts to expand and we start to have hires from overseas, like Singapore and Vietnam, then there are different teams that we need to look after. Have managed to shrink the direct reports from 25 down to 3. What our focus will be is more on work standards and the results being produced.
Following behavior theories by Shimehon, it seems that he used to lead with a people-oriented behavior. So these are leaders who prioritize their employees' well-being and emotional needs first. Example of this is he mentioned dildo dots was first starting out. There were very few employees. However, there was so much work to do, so the work had to be distributed among them. He wanted to prevent burnt out and from the employees from feeling overwhelmed, so he actually prioritized their well-beings, and actually this built the employees' trust and loyalty in him. But now, he leads with a more task-oriented behavior. So these are leaders who prioritize assigning tasks as well as the completion of tasks. So what he did was he brought in team leads. These team leads would oversee their team members' well-being, and he was able to focus on the results and outputs. I would describe his leadership style more democratic and laissez-faire. So one way he demonstrates his democratic style is by demonstrating the consult aspect in decision making. So when he makes decisions, he provides his employees with every single piece on information, and the employees are able to give their feedback and give their opinion, but he has the final say. He also leads in a more laissez-faire style. He mentioned that in lower stakes decision actually allows his employees to make the decision per their expertise. How does his leadership style affect his team morale? Can be explained by the leader-member exchange theory by Shimehon and Bakra. What Ethan did was he formed a wide in-group. These are the people he's closest to in the company. In return, his employees actually perform much better, and there's a very low turnover rate in the company. Next, I asked him, who is his one role model that he looks up to, and what can he take away from their leadership style? He looks up to the one and only Jeff Bezos, the man behind Amazon.
Reason why I look up to him is because as a leader, the most challenging thing is to do the difficult things.
One thing that Ethan looks up to in Jeff Bezos is his transformational style of leadership. One way that he shows his transformational leadership style is by his inspirational motivation. He actually came up with the idea of the Amazon Web Service, which leads me into the intellectual stimulation characteristic. A lot of his managers at the time told him it wasn't a good idea, he had to play it safe, but he ignored it and decided to go with his instincts. How does Jeff Bezos make decisions? Ethan shared this quote. I think this really proves Jeff Bezos' intuitive decision making. He really trusts his gut and he goes for it no matter what anyone says. Now on to my personal reflection. Can Ethan, the founder of dildo dots, be my role model? And the answer is yes. One of the reasons I feel that he can be my role model is the way that he balances being task-oriented while still leading in a laissez-faire style. I find myself going one or the other to the extreme when leading. I also really admire his application on leader-member exchange. If we give employees too much leeway, they might take advantage and not be productive. However, if we are overly strict on them, then they might not find passion in their work. It's very important. And I really look up to the fact that he has been able to build such close relationships with his employees. And the last reason is how he makes decisions intuitively. When Ethan feels that something can be achieved, he will stop at nothing to make sure that it is accomplished. In conclusion, I learned that leadership, there's no absolute way to do so. You can't be too in the box and you can't be too outside of the box either. I also learned trust your instincts. If it tells you what's right, then why not follow that?